The one thing that truly fascinates me about Episode 9 by writer and director J.J. Abrams is that he will be changing many different elements of the character of Rey, as well as giving her a very important lineage in this movie. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of fans are really looking forward to seeing in this movie is, of course, exactly how J.J. Abrams will treat the character of Rey, and what the actual changes of her lineage will really be in this movie. Now, we do know that Rey's parents will play quite the important role in this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. However, what's really intriguing is that the reveal of Rey's parents are going to have saga-wide implications on the Skywalker saga itself. So basically, to put things more simple here, is that Rey's parents, once they are revealed in Episode 9, it really is going to have quite the major impact on, of course, Star Wars Episodes 1 through 9. Now, this most definitely lines directly up with what we heard from Richard E. Grant not too long ago, that there is going to be, of course, earth-shaking twists in Star Wars Episode 9. So the fact that Rey's parents and their reveal is actually going to have saga-wide implications in this movie, I think is honestly rather intriguing and very surprising, and it's just leaving me very much mind-boggled right now as to what they could possibly do with Rey's parents in this film, exactly who they are, and maybe who they are actually connected to. Maybe her grandparents are the true piece to the puzzle, and her parents are just a piece to that actual puzzle there. So when we look at Episode 9 as a whole, we do know that Rey's parents were pretty much disregarded in The Last Jedi as basically nobodies, right? By Rian Johnson and through the dialogue of KYLO Ren, portrayed by Adam Driver. You know, that her parents are basically nobody, and she came to terms with that they are nobody, and that makes her nobody. You know, she has no place in this world. She's nothing, and that's what KYLO Ren says to her. So, with that being said, we do know that J.J. Abrams originally had a big plan in Episode 7 to give her a very important lineage in the sequel trilogy. Now, that was completely put to the side, you know, once, you know, the change of, you know, everything happened with Colin Trevorrow and everyone and whatnot. You know, Colin also had other plans involving Rey's lineage, pretty much carrying out of what happened with Episode 8. Now that JJ is back, he is able to do exactly what he wanted to do in Episode 7, which I honestly think is a real exciting thing, because at the very start, I feel like that J.J. Abrams should have been the man who done all 3 films, right? I think that would have been the smarter move by Disney and Lucasfilm. You know, one director, one writer, and maybe at the most have a co-writer by his side for if he were to be involved with Episode 8 at the time. You know, I think that would have worked actually very well, and it would have made the sequel trilogy feel a little bit more consistent, because if you look at the sequels right now, there's a lot of bouncing back and forth, you know, between the different continuity pieces for certain characters and certain questions and answers that were being set up in The Force Awakens that were not actually, you know, pretty much revealed in Episode 8. So moving on from all of this, I think that the exciting thing about all of this involving Rey's parents and how they're actually going to have saga-wide implications, could this very well be a major hint that these actual parents of hers are going to be connected to perhaps, let's say, Luke Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi or Han Solo and Leia, or maybe even Emperor Palpatine for all we know, right? I mean, there's a lot of possibilities of what they're going to do with Rey's parents. The fact here is that we do know that he's changing the character of Rey in this movie. He wants to give her a very important lineage that'll be extremely satisfying to a majority of Star Wars fans around the globe, which honestly I think is rather I think that's honestly rather ambitious, and you know, he's really approaching this with a more optimistic attitude, where he's really trying to just cater to the fans and really kind of just bind the Star Wars community back together into one. And Disney and Lucasfilm, you know, we do know that they're looking at this film as a course correction technique. Ever since the Solo: A Star Wars Story box office results and The Last Jedi backlash, and how the actual side movies, the actual solo movies were canceled, like the Obi-Wan movie and the Boba Fett film, etc. You know, you can see why they want to get this movie right, because if they can't get this movie right, you know, I don't even know how they're going to do a new Star Wars trilogy. That's a big question for sure. But as far as Rey's parents go, I know that, you know, there's a lot of people out there that don't necessarily feel that they're all all that important. Even Daisy Ridley has said before in the past that she doesn't believe that they are all that important, and she knows who they are. You know, she flat out said one time that she knows who her parents really are in The Force Awakens. You know, when she filmed The Force Awakens, ever since Episode 7, she has known exactly who her parents really are. So there is an answer, and Daisy Ridley knows it, and J.J. Abrams at least knew it at the time, before, of course, things were changed and where Rey's parents became nobody. So going into Episode 9, guys, I would really love to hear what you guys have to say about her parents and their reveal having saga-wide implications. What do you necessarily think that's actually going to mean in this story? Could it have something to do with the Force, or could it have something to do with one of the known characters in the Skywalker saga? I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that below, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.